Routines for sleeping and resting. Gently rock or pat infants who need help to get to sleep. Watch and listen for them to signal when they want to be picked up from a crib and respond positively and quickly to their signals. Provide toddlers with a cot that is labeled with his or her first name and a special symbol or picture. Sheets, pillows, and blankets are labeled in the same way. Plan and implement a transition time from play to sleep with a predictable sequence for toddlers. To build positive relationships, read stories, talk gently, and/or pat a child gently to sleep, according to the child's needs. Toddlers may pick a special book or have their own stuffed toy or blanket if needed. If toddlers have a difficult time sleeping, they may need additional padding, songs, books read, a lovey, or earphones with very soft music playing. Allow toddlers to sleep and rest only as long as they need. A quiet activity is planned for those who wake up. Help toddlers transition from nap to wake time by holding and rocking them or rubbing their backs as they start to wake. For toddlers, prepare the nap area before lunch so that if they become tired or fall asleep during lunch, the teacher can help them transition to nap time. Use sleeping and resting times as opportunities for emotional connections between adults and children and for social interactions with peers. Routines for greeting and goodbyes. Greet each infant and toddler and his or her family members warmly in the morning to assist in the transition from home to the child care center, and to give family members a chance to communicate needs, priorities, and concerns. Help each child say goodbye to family members and move to an activity. For a child having difficulty with separation, plan staff assignments to allow the child's primary teacher appropriate time to help the child become more comfortable when arriving or leaving. Comfort the child and tell him or her when the family member will return, after lunch, after nap, for example. Greet family members warmly when they pick up the child. This helps children transition from childcare to family at the end of the day and is an opportunity to describe the child's day. Give each infant and toddler a special goodbye. Use transition routines as opportunities to build emotional connections between the child and his or her family, the teacher and the child, and between and among peers. Greetings and goodbyes can be hard for some children and adults. Caregiver support can help make this an easier transition. Some children may need extra support and targeted strategies that are unique to him or her. For example, a special goodbye area. Designate a space in the room or an area outside the door as the special goodbye area. This becomes a place for families and children to say goodbye. Families, photos, and objects. Display family photos or favorite objects around the room so children can see their families throughout the day, especially when they are feeling scared or lonely. You can point out the family pictures, talk about how loved the child is, and remind him that his parents or a family member will be back to pick him up. Transitional or comfort items. Allowing a young child to bring his special blanket or toy may help him to transition from one environment to the next. As he brings his blankie with him, he is bringing a little piece of home that reminds him of the safety and comfort of mom, dad, or home. Rituals. Talk to families about creating a goodbye ritual that they can do each day with their child. For example, mom might help her son hang up his backpack and then give goodbye butterfly kisses while saying, "Here's my special butterfly kiss to last throughout the day, and I'll be back to pick you up, so go and play." Goodbye rituals become a signal to the child that it is time to say goodbye and reassure them that mom will be back later. Games. Have a fun goodbye game that you play as infants and toddlers are dropped off in the morning. It might be a song or a big hug. This is a great way to get other children involved in helping each other say goodbye, as well as practice social skills. Books. Make books about the young child's day. The title for a book for a child who is dropped off by his mom might be "Mommy Comes Back." The book goes through the schedule routines of the day and shows the child leaving home in the morning or leaving the center at the end of the day with mommy. You might also involve parents in making the books and have them take pictures of their morning routines to add to the book. What happens before the child comes to the center? Caregiving environments should be designed to enhance relationships and learning. Because infants and toddlers learn and develop competencies through movement, exploration, and appropriate challenges, their environment should offer a variety of experiences. It should be a place where they can freely move, make choices, and explore. The environment should be welcoming to everyone: children, families, childcare providers, and other program staff. It should be a place where everyone can easily interact with one another, share meaningful experiences, and come together to enjoy the relationships they are developing. Responsive environments. Caregivers need to offer what infants and toddlers see, touch, hear, and smell and taste. Decide how much fresh air, sunlight, and exercise young children will get. Create engaging, supportive, and comfortable physical environments. Caregivers in responsive environments also choose appropriate toys, materials, and activities and engage in reciprocal interactions. All of this make up the learning experience for infants and toddlers. A well-designed infant-toddler physical environment can have a major impact on young children's social and emotional development. It needs to support and encourage their social emotional needs, responsive care from adults, and peer relationships. And it should be developmentally appropriate. This is known as age appropriate, individually appropriate, and culturally appropriate. On the following slides, you will see some photo examples of infant toddler environments. Look to see what you think supports responsive relationships. Not all of the elements mentioned are illustrated in the photos. For example, cultural appropriateness, individual appropriateness, and appropriate for children with disabilities. For example, what environmental factors they might consider for a child who has a hearing impairment or an older toddler with mobility impairments. Each person brings his or her own unique preferences to her feelings about the rooms. We all have our own responses to different environments. What may feel appealing and comfortable to one person could feel cold or stark to another person. Here are some environmental elements to consider when designing an infant-toddler space. Having cozy private spaces. These types of spaces, while easily supervised by caregivers, are critical to the development of the young child's self-concept. Often the meltdowns and struggling moments we see young children experience in group care settings can be linked to the possible stress of being in a large group for an extensive amount of time. Creating safe spaces where children can retreat for extra rest, to observe and recharge emotionally throughout the day can help to alleviate this stress. Private spaces can also be achieved by incorporating into the classroom a tunnel, a very large cardboard box, a plastic empty sandbox, a carpeted built-in cabinet with the doors removed, or a cozy loft space. With access to these cozy spaces, two toddlers who are just beginning to develop a relationship can also go off together to quietly play. Safe lofts and climbing structures. A developmentally appropriate and well-designed climbing structure or loft support motor exploration as well as offer a private space for a young child to relax and watch his peers by himself. It is also a place where an adult caregiver and young child can cuddle and read a book together. Having places for children to crawl, walk, and climb. Self-initiated exploration and movement is essential to a young child's emotional development. Crawling to a desired toy and picking it up, climbing to the top of a loft, and going down a slide are all activities that help a young child develop feelings that she is capable, can achieve, and through practice can master. While older children can begin to grasp limitations to their play and movement, such as, in 10 minutes we'll be going outside and then you can run, a toddler will struggle understanding such limitations. The toddler's focus is, I need to crawl and climb now. It is important that the environment encourages and supports this fundamental developmental need. Providing plenty of physical outlets for movement can also reduce challenging behaviors. When toddlers have appropriate places to jump, throw, climb, and generally be active, they may be far less likely to climb on furniture not meant for climbing or engage in inappropriate behaviors. Lighting. Poor lighting can strain the eyes of young children and adult caregivers. Certain types of lighting, such as the lamp seen in the one photo, can help a care setting look and feel more like a home. Lighting that can be adjusted can help to calm and soothe an infant or toddler and help modify the mood in the room. Sound. Consider the noise level of the room. Consider adding soft surfaces such as carpet or drapes to help absorb sound. The noise level in a room can impact young children's mood, anxiety level, ability to tolerate frustration, and become calm. Think about your own experience at a very noisy restaurant, where it is a struggle to hear the people at your table. Faced with such an experience, people have very different responses. Some people may want to leave, some give up trying to talk, some people talk louder, and some people become agitated or cranky. Color. A neutral colored background and furniture can help support a calming atmosphere in an infant-toddler care setting. Neutral colors in an infant and toddler room also reduce the stimulation in the room and allow the people, that is, the caregivers and children, to be the center of attention. People. Consider who is in the environment. Are there more females than males? How might having more males impact young children's social emotional environment and or view of themselves, the world, and relationships? Consider the ethnic, racial, and language diversity of the caregivers in the environment. If no one in the environment speaks a child's language, a child may feel he or she is not understood. Similarly, if the cultural practices in the center are very different from those practices in the home, a child may feel less secure in his surroundings. The physical environment tells a story for young children, families, and caregivers. The specific design of a care setting supports engagement, exploration, and focused play. When young children are not engaged, they often wander and may display challenging behaviors. When this happens, caregivers often find themselves following young children and saying no too often. In this case, the caregiver acts more like a police officer as opposed to spending his time facilitating and supporting individual and group learning.